If there are perceived safety problems for the officer, of course it's legitimate to remove your individual liberties from you. I mean, you want the cop to be safe, don't you? Welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and let's go ahead and roll the intro.
This is in pursuit of a Mazda heading south on 3 Points Road.
Here's the deal.
This is the bill that I was talking to you about coming out of Arizona. And I'm just going to go through this. They've had this on the table since 2016, and they really want to ramp this up. An Arizona state senator has proposed legislation that would make it illegal to record police activity on camera from within 20 feet. So if you're at 20.5 feet or 21 feet, A-okay. But within that 20-foot zone, well, that's a constitution-free zone. Didn't you know that? You don't have an inalienable right in that 20 feet. I don't know if you knew that. John Kavanaugh, a Republican representing District 23 in the Scottsdale area, introduced Senate Bill 1054 last week. This is back in 2016, but this is still on the table. This is just as relevant today as it was in 2016. This should be resisted with as much fervor today as they should have resisted it in 2016. His measure that would make it unlawful for a person to knowingly make a video recording of law enforcement activity, including handling of an emotionally disturbed person, if the person making the video recording does not have the permission of law enforcement. That law enforcement officer is within 20 feet of where the law enforcement activity is occurring. And just so you know, this is that law right here. Here is Senate Bill 1054, and it does say just that in this text right here. This, quote, new technology has created this new problem where it's a distraction that can be dangerous to the officer. You know what? You can't trump freedoms and call it because of officer distraction. I don't care. Your distraction doesn't trump my rights. You don't lose rights because somebody's fearful. You don't lose rights because somebody could potentially be distracted. Well, we got to get rid of rights because Officer Brown over here, he's getting distracted. We don't want that guy to get distracted. So what we want more than him getting distracted is for you to lose your rights. Only within that 20 feet, though. You only don't have those rights. Those rights are suspended and put in suspended animation within that 20 feet. Mr. Kavanaugh, a former police officer with a port authority in New York and New Jersey, told the Arizona Republic, quote, the idea is to balance the right to videotape with the safety concerns of everybody. Guess what? There's no such balance. You either have freedoms or you don't have them. You either have the inalienable right of freedom of the press where you can whip out your camera and record a public servant in the regular course of his duty, or you can't. The proposal does not carve out any exceptions for credentialed media. What is credentialed media? And who is trained to verify if you are legitimately credentialed media? Is there a class law enforcers go through? This is what credentials look like. This is what a credentialed person looks like. The top 10 things to identify a credentialed person. Well, guess what? All you need to know is, does this guy have a beating heart? Is he an American? Is he a human being? Oh, then he has a credentialed right. It's called the First Amendment, freedom of press, freedom of speech. The proposal does not carve out any exceptions for credentialed media, and first-time offenders could be fined upwards of $300 for getting too close to a police officer with camera or cellular phone in tow. Quote, having one or more persons suddenly walk up behind and around them with cameras is a distraction. The officer doesn't know if it's somebody who's a friend of the individual he's doing law enforcement action against or what. How do you like that? An individual he's doing law enforcement action against. But it distracts the officer, which creates a safety problem for the officer. We wouldn't want you to be I heard that the officers are feeling a little bit unsafe. I heard there's some officers out there while they have major training or Kevlar vested, have unlimited resources of the state and all this backup and firepower. I heard they're still shaking in their shoes over little old unarmed us. Oh, the poor guys, they're scared. It's a safety problem for them. I'm willing to give up my individual liberty so that they can feel just a little bit more secure, aren't you? Nope. Sure ain't. Eyewitnesses would still be able to record police activity, albeit at a distance of 21 feet or greater, the senator said. Oh, thank you. Thank you, God, for granting me permission to do something that I have a perfect right to do in the first place. Most cameras have great resolution where you don't really lose anything when you're 20 feet away. Audio? Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. Kavanaugh, former police officer Kavanaugh, created this law, suspends my constitutional rights. Can't give that up, Arizona. Can't give it up. At 20 feet, you can pretty much pick up small objects. The bill still recognizes the public's right to record, Mr. Kavanaugh told KNXV News in Phoenix, adding, quote, it just creates a safety parameter. Now, you got to understand, with these law enforcers with qualified immunity who can get away with crimes on video camera because they're wearing costumes, you got to understand, we got to set up a perimeter for them. It's got to be a safety corridor where people have to, it's the nature of the beast, man. You just got to lose your individual rights. It's a police officer. I mean, he's a special breed of human being, and we need to give him the honor he deserves. Absent any statistics to back his claims, however, and at a time where amateur home recordings have let investigators examine charges of police misconduct like never before, opponents of this proposal aren't wasting any time raising concerns. Quote, there is a clearly established First Amendment right for citizens. You think? And these officers, if they had any kind of morality at all, swimming around in their little beating blue line hearts, they would realize, hey, you know what? I can't go for this law because I swore to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I'll be damned if I become the very domestic enemy I swore to protect the people from. They can record all they want. Any law enforcer who, if this thing became a law, who actually enforces this, tells you all you need to know about them. Hey, I'm about to engage in criminal activity. I don't want you recording me. Instead of going, you know what? I want to show the world that I'm the hero that I think I am and that I champion individual rights. So I don't mind everybody recording. Matter of fact, I'll buy them video cameras so we can get multiple angles because I'm going to look so good on the 5 o'clock news, helping people out, not extorting them, not using my baton, I'm not my nightstick, not tasing people in the balls like they did to Johnny Wheatcroft in front of his little screaming kids. Not blowing people away in hotel hallways like they did to Daniel Shaver. Not beanbagging and sicking my dog on and killing James Boyd, homeless James Boyd in Arizona. I want to show people what a good guy I am. Of course you would want that if you were truly a hero. Of course you would want everybody in the world to see how good of a guy you are. Of course you wouldn't want people to put their cameras away or have laws that, inhibit people's right to record freely in public. Of course you wouldn't want that. There's clearly established First Amendment right for citizens or anyone you don't have to be a citizen to record public activities of law enforcement, said this guy from American Civil Liberties Union. You don't have to be a professional journalist to possess this First Amendment right. It's called a right. You can't just have this automatic arbitrary number, he said, at the 20-foot buffer zone. There's nothing magic about 20 feet that you'll always be interfering if you're less than 20 feet and never if you're past 20 feet. Said you've had a whole slew of courts hold that people who have a First Amendment right to make the video of police in public. If this bill ever became law, it would be struck down in a nanosecond. You would think, but it wasn't struck down in Oklahoma. Yep, as of November 1st, 2021, thanks Governor Stitt, Republican Governor Kevin Stitt, signed into law that it's illegal and you are a criminal to record police carrying out the normal course of their duties for the day. Just evil stuff, man.